We're heading deep into the heart of Africa, a land teeming with life but also harboring some of the most venomous snakes on the planet. These aren't your average backyard garden variety. These are the apex predators of the slithering kind, masters of camouflage, lightning-fast strikes and venom so potent it can drop a man in minutes. We're talking paralysis, internal bleeding, and if you're not careful, a one-way ticket to the afterlife. Stay alert, stay aware, and most importantly, stay with me as we count down to the most dangerous snake in Africa by potency of their venom, not necessarily by number of death. In general, snakes of the Elapidae family produce neurotoxic venoms comprising of toxins targeting the nervous system, while snakes of the Viperidae family and most rear-fanged snakes produce hemotoxic venoms directed mainly on blood coagulation. Let's get started. Number 10. The bush viper is sometimes also called the leaf viper or green bush viper, is an arboreal snake that dwells the rainforests and woodlands habitats of Africa in Congo Basin, Uganda, Kenya. It is known for its extremely keeled dorsal scales that give a unique, shaggy idea to its skin, almost bristly appearance. Spiny bush vipers vary in color and can be green, olive green, bluish or brownish, with a yellow or pale olive belly. Is highly venomous but relatively passive, even so it will defend itself when molested. Its habits are primarily nocturnal and often comes to the ground to feed on small rodents, frogs and lizards. A bite from this snake causes impaired breathing, fever, severe inflammation and worse. Besides the neurotoxins, they also carry cytotoxins and fasciculins. A bite can be fatal to humans without access to proper first aid and subsequent antivenom treatment. There are now a number of reports of bites that have led to severe hemorrhaging of internal organs. Number 9. The green mamba. The species, as the name implies, differs in color with a glossy grass green and an average size about 15.9 feet, 1.8 meters. It is also very shy and much less aggressive and tends to be more arboreal instead of mainly terrestrial. There are two species of green mamba. The western green mamba, Dendroaspis viridis, which is native to West Africa, and the eastern green mamba, Dendroaspis angusticeps, found on the eastern side of southern Africa. It seldom gapes the mouth in a threat display and prefers to move off into thick vegetation if disturbed. It is an arboreal, tree-living snake, only venturing to the ground to move between trees, bask in a sunny spot, or chase prey. The venom is considered potentially lethal and is known to have some neurotoxic properties that may affect breathing. Recent bites have all shown decent swelling and limited neurotoxic effects, suggesting the venom is a mix of neurotoxic and cytotoxic proteins. However, in the event of a bite, the victim should be taken to the hospital immediately. Fatal bites from the green mamba are rare. When bitten, symptoms rapidly begin to manifest, usually within the first 15 minutes or less. Common symptoms of a bite from a western green mamba include local pain and swelling. Although uncommon, local necrosis can be moderate. Ataxia, headache, drowsiness, difficulty breathing, vertigo, hypertension, low blood pressure, diarrhea, dizziness and paralysis. The extraordinary speed with which the venom spreads through tissue and produces rapid manifestations of life-threatening symptoms is unique to mambas. Left untreated, new and more severe symptoms rapidly progress and the victim eventually dies due to suffocation resulting from paralysis of the respiratory muscles. Number 8. Cape cobra. The Cape cobra, Naja nivea, highly neurotoxic venom is thought to be the most potent of all African cobras. It's sometimes also called the yellow cobra. Endemic to southern Africa and its surrounding territories, the Cape cobra is widely considered to be one of the most dangerous species on the continent due to its aggressive behavior and toxic venom. Reaching upwards of 4.6 feet at maturity, the Cape cobra can be easily identified due to its slim hood, as well as its copper-like and purplish-black coloration that takes on a yellowish-brown appearance. As one of Africa's deadliest snakes, the Cape cobra possesses a remarkably toxic venom that is comprised of both cardiotoxins and postsynaptic neurotoxins. When combined, these two toxins form a coordinated attack on both the central nervous system and lungs of their victims, leading to severe complications including death within hours. Following a bite from the Cape cobra, symptoms usually begin within minutes and include severe pain and swelling of the extremities, necrosis at the wound site, migraine headaches as well as abdominal cramps, vomiting and severe nausea. Vertigo, diarrhea, convulsions and paralysis are also common once the snake's neurotoxin seize control of the central nervous system. In its final stages, cardiac arrest, coma and/or complete respiratory failure are common, with death following shortly after. The mortality rate in humans is more or less around 60% if not treated immediately. Death usually occurs between 2 and 5 hours after the bite and is commonly the result of respiratory failure due to paralysis. Number 7. The boomslang is found in sub-Saharan Africa and is considered the most venomous rear-fanged snake in the world. The name boomslang comes from the Afrikaans word tree snake. It's a tree-dwelling snake species. As an arboreal species, the boomslang spends much of its time in trees where prey is plentiful and predation is limited. They are also incredibly reclusive and will actively flee from anything that is too large to eat. The boomslang fangs are very long and it can open its mouth at a full 180 degrees to bite. During a bite, the boomslang delivers tremendous amounts of venom to the bloodstream as their jaws are able to open upwards of 170 degrees, allowing them to latch onto their victim with ease. While fatalities caused by the species are rare since it is very timid, this snake venom is hemotoxic and results in internal and external bleeding. This is due to the snake's potent venom, which is comprised of powerful hemotoxins. The boomslang is considered an incredibly dangerous species with the capacity to seriously harm and kill humans. Symptoms usually begin slowly, upwards of several hours later, and include both internal and external bleeding due to the anticoagulant effects of the venom. This is followed by nausea, migraine headaches, lethargy, confusion and irritability. If left untreated, damage to the musculoskeletal system and brain are common, resulting in uncontrollable bleeding that leads to death. Number 6. Saw-scaled viper. Found north of the African equator, the saw-scaled vipers, Echis carinatus or carpet vipers, are small yet viciously aggressive and badly tempered snakes. The average adult vipers reach a length of around 20 to 30 inches and comes in a variety colors. They have a stout body with a pear-shaped head that's distinct from the neck and a short, thin tail. Their bodies are patterned with wavy lines or bands in darker and lighter tones, and they have white marks along their mid-backs. The species gets its name from the sizzling sound it makes as it rubs its scales and serves as a warning. The saw-scaled viper is found predominantly north of the equator and spends much of its time near dry savannas and semi-arid territories. The snake's venom is hemotoxic and very potent. According to some researchers, the venom is 5 times more toxic than that of the Indian cobra and 16 times more toxic than the Russell's viper. Although prey in this sort of environment is relatively limited, the saw-scaled viper preys on various rodents, invertebrates such as scorpions and centipedes, small mammals, toads and other reptiles. Following a bite, symptoms usually begin within hours but can be delayed upwards of 6 days in rare cases. Signs of a bite generally include severe swelling, muscular weakness, pain at the wound site, blistering of the skin as well as hypotension. This is followed by anuria, low urine output, gastrointestinal bleeding, as well as coagulation of the blood, resulting in complications. Without treatment, renal failure and cardiac arrest are commonly cited as the primary cause of death for victims. Experts estimate that fatality rates for a saw-scaled viper bite are in the vicinity of 10 to 20%. As a result, any bite from this species should be classified as a life-threatening emergency. In extreme cases, dialysis may also be needed to prevent kidney failure. If you are still here, bravo! You've made it through the first part. Subscribe and click on the right-hand top for part 2, the top 5 most venomous snakes in Africa.